Good evening. I'm Patrick McGurk with Patrick of the People. This evening's webcast is going to be on the national debt ceiling in 2015 and why this vote matters. To start things off with, before we get into the main topic, I'm going to remind that the whole purpose of this broadcast is to inform the electorate of what is actually going on in this country. Because without an informed electorate, we are sheep following each other off of a cliff. So to start out with, before we go too much further into the talk of the debt ceiling increase, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the United States debt. So much speculation has gone around with when this actually started, who's responsible for it. The history of the United States debt goes back to the Revolutionary War. The sum of the national debt after the war was approximately $75 million, which was joined by the accepting the debt of all of the different states at the time into a national debt. As years went on, the debt changed and eventually was eliminated by Andrew Jackson, who was scared of banks and of debt in general. Shortly after that, we had to increase the debt for the Spanish-American War and many other wars to follow. Over the past 50 years, we've seen the debt fluctuate, going up and down. The best way to describe debt, as most financial advisors are going to discuss, is in gross domestic product. So they're comparing the amount owed by the U.S. government to its creditors based on the amount of product that is produced here within the United States itself. As of right now, our debt to GDP ratio is 102.7%. These numbers are approximately at the end of 2014. The lowest they've been in the past 50 years is approximately 36% under the Nixon administration. Over the past 2 decades, you've seen an increase of 18% in the past 5 years, with an increase of 20% in the 5 years before that. Most of that being due to the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. So the most pressing issue of why this is a big deal is going to come up here. As of March 6th, there was a letter addressed to all of the members of Congress and from the Secretary of the Treasury. He wrote that in March 15th, 2015, the suspending of the statutory debt limit, which is the limit that Congress is allowed to continue to further increase the debt, will end. Because of this, the Treasury Department will have to take extraordinary measures to continue to finance the government on a temporary basis. These extraordinary measures would end up being things like they're going to suspend certain things that are paid out, such as Social Security and Medicare. They will take them and stall on making payments to doctors and hospitals. They will try to stall selling off treasuries, so we can no longer hold on to these treasury certificates we've sold to other countries, so we're going to have to continue to auction them off, so they're going to stall it. And then on Friday, March 13th, they will suspend until further notice the issue of state and local government series securities. So these securities are issued to states and municipalities to assist them in conforming to certain tax rules. So these are all of the fundings that go out to the state and local governments from the national government. They count against the debt limit. So by suspending them, you're going to get less funding for events in the country. But we will continue to see taxes rise as a long-term plan. Increasing the debt limit authorizes the new spending commitments. It simply allows the government to pay for expenditures. So, like, it's not going to say, okay, because we're increasing the debt limit, we're going to be able to raise more and more. We're going to fund new programs and things like that. It just says that we're going to continue to pay what we currently owe. So Congress has already approved all of this debt and all of the spending that's going on, but the only thing it's doing is protecting the full faith and credit of the United States, per the Secretary of the Treasury. Only Congress has the power to increase the nation's borrowing authority, and I hope Congress will address this matter without controversy or brinksmanship. And this is signed Secretary Jacob J. Lew. So previous to this, this was dated March 6th. Previous to this, on March 3rd, you have Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He spoke that regardless of anything, as he spoke previously in November when he was working on getting reelected, he's not going to shut down the government or default on the national debt. That is his plan for the year. So he's going to try and pass the debt limit increase without any further thought. It's just going to go up. Now he's going to reach some opposition in the House and the Senate with some of the Republican Tea Party members who have vowed that they will not vote to increase the debt limit without seeing a tax increase, which the majority of the Republicans and the Democrats in the House and the Senate are completely against. The president wishes that it just goes up. He refuses to bargain with the Republicans, and he wants no concessions from the Democrats. He just wants to raise the debt ceiling. Based on the past, that we are seeing no actual limits placed on this. We continue to raise the debt ceiling regardless, without our actual change in debt decreasing. In the past 5 years, the change in debt in billions of dollars has gone up $6,061 billion in the past 6 years. This is from the Obama administration. In the past 4 years prior to that, in the Bush administration, it went up $4,000 billion. So $4 trillion, if you want to round it off. My graphics are in thousands of billions. The question comes down to what is going to be the major issue. Are we going to push forward the debt further, or are we going to try and solve the problem? The ways to lower the debt historically are currently going to be raise taxes or lessen government spending. So the smaller spending gets, the less money we're going to have to pay out to government-funded projects, giving out these securities to states and municipalities. But with that, you're going to see less government handouts, fewer government-funded projects. You're going to see that private industry tries to take over more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So this is just my corner on this small topic of what's actually going on the Hill. Your opinion's greatly appreciated on what you think about this topic, where the government should go, and what you think is also being ran around and disputed by the news. I'd like to thank Citizens Matter for hosting my webcast this evening on their website, and hopefully there'll be many more to follow. Coming up here in the next couple webcasts, you're going to see me discuss the negotiations with the country of Iran, the president's misabuse of power, and the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Administration's current rulings on AR-15 green-tipped ammo. Thank you. I'm Patrick McGurk, and I will see you later.